Everyone, Dr. Jamie Phillips doing a voiceover video review of these Bauer Konekt skates. So thank you, Bauer, for sending these. These have intrigued me for quite some time. I know I'm not the first person to review them, and they're also been around for a while, but let's talk about it. So getting them baked was quite a process. I think one of the things that surprised me the most was just how many steps it was to bake it. Now, when I spoke to my buddy Elliot at Bauer, he made sure that we knew exactly how to do it. And Carson at B&R had it detailed on his phone just to make sure everything was broken in correctly. You can see this is strange, man. I feel like I'm an old man now, so this is super weird. Putting it on though felt really, really good.
Sure, if you're looking for extra length, just unscrew these and move.
Okay, well, this should be, I think, of a normal-ish foot.
And then, you bake the boots with the shell afterwards. The shell pre-bake, then the boots bake afterwards. Again, just super weird, super different. Just extra steps. Is it good or bad? No, not really. But, new technology requires new solutions. Hopefully that as things progress, maybe there's a more efficient way to do it. It's been a while. It's been a while since I put on new skates, but I'm gonna be honest, for the first time in a long time, I actually felt very excited about getting back on the ice to try these. Usually, I skate once or twice a year for charity things. But this was for the first time. I was like, hey, maybe I should just go snap it around. Really cool technology. Again, they felt exactly kind of like ski boots, a lot more ankle mobility. You can see them here compared to my old skates, my Trues, which I don't do the top eyelet up all the way or the last eyelet at the bottom.
Right, well, because I have a ton of friends, I'm going to be going out in lower body only. But you can see that I'm going from some Trues, as here's the 2018 model Trues, into these Konekts. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to go. Ooh. All right, these are already super weird. There's just so much initial dorsiflexion in the ankle. Oh boy, and I can barely skate as it is. My feet really hurt. But I think that's just because they're new skates. One skate is way sharper than the other. You know what? I think I like them. It's not necessarily this extra ankle range of motion. They're just, maybe that's it, but they're just nice skates.
All right, so my initial thoughts of it. First, the amount of extra ankle motion that you get from the skate isn't that significant. Now, I know, depending, and I'll show later with the goniometer how much 5 degrees dorsiflexion is, or whatever degree that you can get. It's basically insignificant. However, if you've used something your whole life, like this, and your ankle's always been locked in, then yeah, it's gonna feel new, but new is always gonna feel different, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with new. However, what I don't like about the skates, I think I'd probably talk about that first. What I don't like about the skates, I'm just concerned that if something breaks, it's a lot harder to fix, like, clips than it is to fix skate laces. Skate laces, spend $4, go to Howie's, get a couple laces, and you're good to go. That's probably my biggest concern. What do I like most about the skates? Well, to be honest, they're just really nice skates. My feet hurt, but I wear goalie skates maybe 2 or 3 times a year. I coach in player skates, so I'm just not used to it. Like, I'm not even used to like a flat blade. So I'm gonna switch to these primarily. I'm not gonna use anything else. Probably gonna sell the VHs, or the Trues, excuse me, and then use Konekts kind of forever. With the Konekts though, they're gonna take some time. Like, that's a big thing. There's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve. Also, like, if you look at the profile, my True has a more rounded toe right now, and that's probably just because it's been shaved down. That's also something that I've gotten used to. So, there are going to be subtle nuances, but if you're switching from a completely new brand of skate, that is to be expected. And if you think that your skate is going to feel exactly the same, well, it's not. So keep that in mind. Okay, so now a little bit of the science and fun part of the review. So part of increasing your ankle range of motion, specifically your ankle dorsiflexion, and I apologize for not having my ankle anatomy model here, but dorsiflexion is allowing your shin to get closer to your toes. And the Konekts allow for more dorsiflexion, which allows for more range. Now, where things kind of get lost in the minutia of this is people automatically will assume increased dorsiflexion, good, because we always think increased range is always better, and that's not always the case. With increasing dorsiflexion, first of all, if you increase mobility, you need to increase stability. So if you're someone who doesn't have stable ankles and all of a sudden you have more range, you need to be able to control that, or else you are going to risk getting injured. But if you are someone with stable ankles, increasing your dorsiflexion or even just general range of motion in your ankles will allow you to access certain attack angles on the ice a little bit better. It might allow you to sit a little bit far forward in your stance, which makes it a little bit more of an athletic position, which definitely has a huge upside. If you have a little bit more ankle range, your ankles aren't locked into a boot. In theory, it might be better for your hips and knees because it just generally has more freedom. Now, one of the downsides, and for me probably one of the biggest downsides of the skate, is the explosive part, explosive movement. So again, we always think of more range of motion is better. However, if you look at a lot of the literature, it shows that Achilles stiffness and the Achilles tendon that goes into your calf muscles, or 2 main calf muscles, your gastroc and your soleus, they primarily will restrict ankle dorsiflexion because they are primarily plantar flexions, which is opposite motion, which is pointing your toes down. This research shows, and especially in sprinters, that ankle stiffness contributes to explosivity. And so if we look at that and we look at, okay, well, in theory, if the ankles are stiffer, they're going to be more explosive. And so, as I'm saying, in theory and hypothetically and all these things, it really comes down to a person-to-person basis. I think instead of getting caught up in some of these tiny little things that me as a physical therapist think about, instead of getting caught up in those, let comfort be the guide. Does it feel good to have more ankle range in your skates, or do you really like a more secured, locked in boot? And then from there, allow that to guide your decision. But if you're thinking, okay, 5 extra degrees of dorsiflexion is going to change my game, no. It's honestly straight up, like, it's not going to change your game. However, if you like the feel of this increased range, then yes, these skates are definitely for you. I mean, when I played in my trues, I didn't do all my eyelets up to the top just so I can get slightly more range. And so for me, I don't have to worry about that. I get a really nice, really good feeling skate. I don't have to worry about tying my skate laces, and I get increased ankle range, which just allows me to feel a lot more comfortable in my stance.